for the third and fourth respondent, we have Mrs. Tanji, together with Ms. Paula. Thank you.
Yes. I hope you have taken quorum on all the relevant files.
Do you have 537, Madhu?
The speaker,
537, yes. This is the one. 537, we have Gema Watho Association versus the National Assembly.
Yeah, you're not sure. My name is Kiragua.
Mr. Kiragua?
Watuta. I appear together with my learned friend, Mr. Wambugu Wanjo. Next to me. Mr. Kariuki Karanja, who I understand is on the online platform, and Mr. James Dennis, equally on the online platform.
James Dennis.
James Dennis. Thank you.
In this matter, for the first respondent to the National Assembly, we have Mr. Eric Gumbo in the online platform, Paul Nyamodi in the online platform, Moses Kikugei in the online platform, Ken Melly in the online platform, Dr. Mdomi Kenkolu, the online platform, and myself, Peter. Well, for the Speaker of the National Assembly and the Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly who appear second and the third respondent respectively, you have Mr. Nihimo in the online platform, Mr. Kuyoni and Ms. Kama, present in court for those two parties. Then, my Lord, for the Senate, that is the fourth and the fifth respondent, that is the Speaker of the Senate, we have Mrs. Stanji.
We have who?
Mrs. Stanji and Ms. Opola, they are present in court physically. Thank you.
There is an
there's AG first.
there's AG as and Honorable Rigathi Gachagua also as interested parties. I think that does for the quorum.
Representation.
Yes.
My Lord, all these petitions,
You want to address me on which one?
522.
Yes.
But before I address these quotes in 522, is one housekeeping issue that perhaps your lordships and your leadership may wish to address at this stage, which is that your brother, Mr. Justice, the Honorable Mr. Justice Mugambi, directed all these files to the Chief Justice. They raise cross-cutting issues. So to save on judicial time, I don't know whether this court prefers that they be heard together without being consolidated, or whether the court would refer to have them consolidated. Just drawing the attention of this honorable court to that, so that we can clarify how we move forward with all the 6 petitions. And add that the 6 petitions have been filed because of the very weighty issues, constitutional issues that are raised in each of these 6 matters. So the issue for the court to resolve, do we hear them together without formal consolidation, or do we consolidate them? Hear them as consolidated.
What is your proposal? Because we are submitting on the issue.
My proposal, subject to what my learned friends say, is that we hear them together, currently, without any formal consultation. But I give it to my colleagues and finally to the court. You are the ones with the pen.
Thank you.
My Lord, for the respondents.
Your Lordship, I thought I was speaking to my learned friend that perhaps the petitioners also make their proposals, so that in respect to my learned seniors' suggestions, so that the respondents can then enjoy. I am of the same view, Your Lordship, in petition number 509, that since they raise cross-cutting issues, for proper management of our time and expediency, that a consolidation of the same be considered.
Yes.
So that we can have a centralized way of advocating over the matters. So that if I am to submit, Your Lordship, and submit on consolidated petition, I am most obliged.
Yes.
Since the other petition, don't want to have a bite.
Yes. Mr. Ndegwa, that was you.
Yes, Your Lordship, in E0509.
Yes.
That Your Lordship, in 537, we can have the matters heard alongside each other without a formal consultation.
Your name?
My name is Gachagua.
Mr. Kirago.
In 537.
Lord, with your permission, in petition number 5/2024, Simon Moore is my name. I would wish that we proceed with the matters being consolidated in response to a consolidated petition. Simon Moore.
Yes, you prefer consolidation.
Consolidation.
Then we have counsel who are online. I believe that you understand of what we are talking about here, and if you want to contribute, you may say something.
My Lord, perhaps, if I may, for the National Assembly, my name is Nyamondi. I am online.
Yes.
My Lord, the National Assembly is a respondent in all these petitions. And perhaps, my Lord, this is an opportune time for me to point out to you that there are 23 other petitions. There are 29 in number altogether.
Yes.
My Lord, the National Assembly has made an application for consolidation. And that application for consolidation is on the court record in this matter. And my Lord, the National Assembly is of the view that these matters are best dealt with after consolidation, that they are consolidated and had as a consolidated petition. Because the issues are cross-cutting and they are the same in nearly all the 29 petitions that are pending in respect of this process.
Thank you. Is there any other person who wants to submit on the issue?
Yes, my Lord, with your permission.
Yes.
Milimo, my Lord. My Lord, I appear, my Lord, for the Speaker of the National Assembly. My Lord, on our part, we associate ourselves with the submissions of Malani Senior, Mr. Nyamodi. My Lord, you shall note that the petitions, my Lord, a total to 29 in number, my Lord, raise similar or same issues. And my Lord, so that then we handle these issues together, we will propose, my Lord, that you exercise, my Lord, some patience to have all those matters availed before the bench, my Lord, one way or the other. Because, my Lord, you shall note that some have since been referred to the CJ, and it's expected, my Lord, that they will all land before this bench. And that, my Lord, therefore, so that we take directions once and for all in respect of all those matters, my Lord, we would respect that maybe the court considered, my Lord, to grant this matter a mentioned date, maybe by Friday, at which time, my Lord, it would be expected that all the matters would have been availed before you, then we take directions at once. We will go for consolidation, my Lord, of all the matters so that we have one consolidated file. And if possible, my Lord, then we sieve the issues in all the files so that the responses can be one to all the petitions as opposed to each, which will be, my Lord, a little bit difficult and tedious for the parties. I thank you, my Lord.
Thank you. Mr. Milimo and Mr. Nyamodi, have you cited the 29 petitions which you claim have been filed?
My Lord, we have cited as many as they were when the application for consolidation was made. But my Lord, they have been coming thick and fast. I have the list of the 29. If your Lordship wants, I can read it out and place it on the record.
Yes, Kasina Counsel Mote.
My Lord, being a court of law, particularly a court of record, means that the court is guided by practice. Your Lordships, your Ladyship are being addressed about files which are not before this. You cannot make any orders regarding consolidations or being hard together. These 6 files are before this honorable court pursuant to the orders of the Chief Justice. If anybody wants to do anything else, let them follow the correct procedure. But we are anxious today in 522 to argue our notice of motion for conservatory orders. That is why we are here. I hear my colleague, learned friend, Mr. Milimo, talking about Friday, after the Senate may have sat. We are seeking to persuade this court to issue a conservatory order today so that the illegality and constitutional resolution by the National Assembly does not proceed any further. Give us that opportunity to persuade this court on our notice of motion for the conservatory orders. Unless, of course, my colleagues, Mr. Milimo and Mr. Nyamondi, concede to our application for a conservatory order so that this court can have the luxury of time to listen to all these very weighty issues. But for this afternoon, for this evening, we seek the opportunity to persuade this court to give us a conservatory order.
Yes, Mr. Peter.
Yeah, my Lord, I was addressing the issue of consolidation. My colleague is agitated. He doesn't want minutes.
I thought you were the ones to make response in respect to what they have submitted on.
The issue of consolidation, I think, should not take too much of our time.
That's okay, my Lord.
Yes.
That's, I want just to clarify.
Yes.
My Lord, there are files. For example, there's a file today which we have just appeared before Justice Chachamwita. We appear as respondents in all these matters. Therefore, we have a singular duty to bring out these facts to the court so that you can consider. Today, at 3:30, Justice Chachamwita has made a ruling in 550 of
Mr. Peter, why don't we deal with the issue of consolidation of the six files before us here?
Yeah.
Then we can then move forward.
My Lord, the issue of consolidation we are submitting will be, if you make that order now, it's going to be affected with the decision which has been made today by Justice Chachamwita. And my Lord, I want to just address you so that you can consider that. So my Lord, today Justice Chachamwita has issued a ruling in 550 of 2024, forwarding this file to the Chief Justice, and the comments from the file by the learned judge is that the Chief Justice should consider forwarding that file as well to this bench for consideration. So my Lord, that is information which is useful. My Lord, secondly, in Kiambu 039 of 2024, again the learned judge has issued a similar order, forwarding the file to the Chief Justice for consideration by this, for possible consideration by this bench. Again, in Kerugoya E01 for 2024, my Lord, similar orders have been issued. So that, my Lord, whereas we don't oppose the order for consolidation, if those other files are then brought by the Chief Justice to this bench, then there will be a need for further consolidation or consideration for that question of further consolidation. That's why, my Lord, Mr. Milimo was submitting that, and we take great exception to the submission that conservatory orders be issued. You cannot issue conservatory orders when the question...
I ask for an opportunity to argue that application is going into the merits.
Well, Lord, I'm not arguing the merits. What I'm saying is that you cannot consider the question of conservatory orders until all the files are properly before you for determination. Nonetheless, my Lord, if they are ready to argue the question of conservatory orders, my Lord, we are ready to respond to that question of conservatory orders. But my Lord, we are just bringing facts to court so that, my Lord, when you make judicial decisions, my Lord, you are guided by Mutunga rules which require efficiency, judicial economy, and, my Lord, scarce use of judicial resources.
Your Lordship, we are here because you have 6 files before you. And these files not just laid before this bench. They were through a judicial process of certification. Any file that is not before you has not been certified by the Chief Justice, cannot be a point of consideration when considering the question of consolidation. I am equally eager, Your Lordship, to urge my application on the conservatory order. So, Your Lordship, anything that is not before you, most respectively, cannot be a question for your consideration.
My Lord.
Yes.
For the Senate and the Speaker of the Senate.
Your name?
Thank you, my Lord.
Yes.
We are parties, we are in the same position as the National Assembly. We find ourselves in all these petitions. The petitioners have the luxury of dealing with their specific petition. So, my Lord, the question of consolidation is an important one. And also what Mr. Wanyama has submitted is important. There are 3 other parts that will be referred to this bench or whichever other bench the Chief Justice decides to constitute. So, my Lord, at this point, what the petitioners are doing this afternoon is grossly unfair to the respondents. We would seek for the court to give directions on the preliminary matters, and we are not afraid to proceed with the application. We have filed our grounds of opposition to the application. But, my Lord, when we find ourselves in all these matters at the same time concurrently, it becomes very difficult for the respondents to have the day in court. So, my Lord, we urge them to
So what we have agreed that we deal with them. It has been getting the seats because of the procedure to make panel numbers. Then we deal with the 6 which we have here. The CJ can enter in other if she wants. Yes, for the record now we deal. We tell them to come on the mountain. We give the directions. For the hearing there. Yeah, tomorrow.
What I heard my learned friend for the Senate suggesting is that
I think it's just in order when you speak, you introduce yourself because we don't keep the names in. Yes.
My name is Gachagua.
Mr. Gachagua.
What I heard my learned friend suggesting is that for now, do not listen to an application for conservatory order made by the petitioners, because there are other petitions which are not before you that may come before you or they may go before another court. These petitions, my Lord, we've learned through this process, they continue to be filed more or less after 2 days, after 3 days. There will be no end to filing of these petitions. So, for what is before you, let us proceed. We also ready to have your application for conservatory order. Otherwise, my Lord, all this time will lapse when petitions are being filed left, right, center. So it is not unfair to file petitions against the National Assembly or the Senate, and therefore the suggestion that we are being unfair to them to include them in every petition is totally wrong, because they are the proper parties in every petition. Thank you.
My Lord, perhaps.
Yes.
With your permission.
Yes.
This is Nyamodi for the National Assembly. If I could perhaps just point out to the bench that the invitation that was sent out by the Deputy Registrar of the Constitutional Division to parties yesterday indicated that the matter is before the bench this afternoon for a mention. I'm not sure whether it is then proper, if this matter is set down before you for a mention, for any party to seek to urge any substantive application that is pending for hearing and determination in this matter.
My Lord, if I may, looking at all the petitions that have been filed before this court, most of them had a certificate of urgency seeking ex parte orders. So therefore, it is not true, or it's not convincing from my learned colleague, Mr. Nyamodi, that it is not fair for them to be confronted with application during a mention for a case that has been listed for a mention.
Who is speaking?
Though that's that
What is your name? What is your name?
Has been sought ex parte.
Please, can you tell us who you are?
My lord, my lady, my name is Lempa in petition 525 of 2024.
My lord and my lady, if my colleague is through, permit me to say something small.
Yes, Mr. Harvey.
The purpose of today's mention was for the bench to take directions in respect of the disposal of the petitions that were forwarded to the Chief Justice pursuant to the ruling of Justice Lawrence Mugambe, and or to consider any interlocutory applications. As we speak right now, responses to the petitions and the applications have not been made. My humble request therefore will be for the court to give directions on the filing of responses if the court is minded to determine the petitions instead of dealing with interlocutory applications, and to give us an indication when we may return to either hear those interlocutory applications or the petitions as consolidated if the court is minded to consolidate them. Otherwise, we'll end up spending so much judicial time hearing everybody on a matter which the court of itself will even have made directions or more.
When did they file a matter application here? This is your application.
Senior Counsel Muta, you said you filed an application.
Yes.
In this matter.
Yes.
Can you cite it? Where?
Lords, in 5/2024, we have the following documents. One, a certificate of urgency dated 2nd of October, 2024.
Yes, I've seen the application.
It is there, including that of
When was it filed?
2nd of October, 2024.
And
this is what was before the Honorable Justice Mugambe.
it was not heard.
We say the issues raised in the certificate and in the petition are so weighty that they needed more than one judge. And your brother agreed, and therefore sent the petition and the certificate to the Chief Justice to constitute this bench, which I'm happy was constituted. And therefore, we made it clear for the petition applicant in 5/2 that we wished to argue this certificate of urgency before a 3-judge bench. And we are here today. We wish to argue that certificate.
Have you received any responses to that application?
Yes, they have filed grounds of opposition, PO, and that sort of thing. They comply. And my Lord, we are seeking to stop the impeachment in the Senate tomorrow. So we need to be heard today, whichever way this court proceeds to.
Lord, can I make one submission?
Just a minute.
Let's consolidate aspects of what we have. We get first to 6th petition or whatever number petition is in the consolidated and then 2. If any party wants to file submissions or wants to file whatever it is between now and morning, time and obtain the valid, we give them time. If you are able to file written submission, if not, we give you limited time to submit. So you choose if you go to sleep, but you know if it's 10 minutes, it will be 10 minutes. Yeah. So as we convert.
What about time?
It has to be early. It has to be 9:30. So after we give them like 2 hours until 11, so that they can it's going to be at least important.
Okay. So yeah, that's one. So we consolidate the first. We give them time to respond.
Yes. To file submissions, to file correspondence, to file submissions. And the hearing will be on the interlocutory application in the sixth petition.
Only on the conservatory.
Yes, on the conservatory. So we have on the applications in the sixth. So whoever wants to respond.
Yes.
This
one will turn this.
Yes.
5:20.
5:22 will be the lead.
Just limit to submissions or just the submissions? Do we limit to submissions?
So in terms of consolidation, we have to configure the parties.
No problem, you can do that in a minute.
Okay.
You can do that in a minute.
You're configuring the parties?
Yes.
So we have consulted on the issue of the submissions which were made, firstly on consolidation of the matters which are before us, and secondly on the issue of the application dated 2nd of October.
Your Lordship, how about my application? I indicated that I would also wish to urge my application dated the 30th of September.
Which orders are you seeking?
I am seeking for conservatory orders as well.
Which kind of consolidation orders?
Your Lordship.
You see, once we deal with the issue of consolidation, your file will find itself inside there.
I'll be patient.
Yes. So it seems to us best to have all these matters consolidated and heard together as a consolidated petition. And that is the order of the court. What we'll then do is to reconfigure the parties and find out how we refer to them. Judge Mrema will lead us in this process.
Yes.
And of course, by the way, consolidation is only for matters which are before us. We cannot entertain any matter which is not currently before us. So the 6 matters which were referred to this bench will be consolidated and heard together as one consolidated petitions. We'll then now reconfigure the parties.
Thank you very much, Presiding Judge. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, we can.
Okay.
Can I hear you?
Yes, my lord, we can hear you, my lord.
Okay. Now, going by the ruling delivered by Judge Mugambi on the 11th day of October 2024, petition 522 of 2024 was made the lead petition. Therefore, the first petitioner in this series will be the Honorable Rigathi Gachagua, that is petitioner number 1, and then the parties in 509. In 509, we have 5 petitioners. So petitioner number 2 will be Obuli Namenya. Petitioner number 3 will be Kennedy Karidhi Gachagua. Petitioner number 4 will be Dennis Okumu. Number 5 will be Simon Muchangi. And number 6 will be Peter Maina Kanene. Then parties in 537. That will be petitioner number 7 will be Gema Watho Association. (528). Petitioner number 8 in the series will be John Mugo Kiragu. (525). Petitioner number 9 in the series will be Njomo John. And in 506, petitioner number 10 will be Caroline Wambui Mwangi. Then on the part of the respondents, parties will appear as follows. The first 4 respondents in the lead petition, that is 522, will continue appearing as the first to the 4th respondent. That is, the first respondent will be the Speaker of the National Assembly of Kenya. Second is the National Assembly of Kenya. Third respondent will be the Speaker of the Senate. And the 4th will be the Senate. Then we will have Honorable Moses Masika Wetangula as the 5th respondent. Honorable Amason King Jeffa as the 6th respondent. The Honorable Attorney General will appear as the 7th respondent. And interested parties will appear as follows.
And not before you go the interested party, forgotten Deputy Speaker, National Assembly.
Deputy Speaker, National Assembly?
Yes.
Which file does he appear in? I didn't see any of such a party.
Lordship, the Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly appears in E537.
537, just a minute. E5.
See that the third respondent.
Just a minute. 537, it's here. Oh yes, appears as the 3rd respondent. So this one will be, we will reconfigure again. Let's have the Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly as the 5th respondent. Then Honorable Wetangula becomes the 6th. Then Honorable Amason Jeffa becomes the 7th. And the Honorable A.G. becomes the 8th respondent. Any other respondent we've left out? Okay. Then, in respect of the interested parties, they will appear as follows. The first interested party will be Honorable William Samoei Ruto,